Hey guys, welcome back to CLOWNFISH TV. This is Kneon, and we're going to talk about Microsoft blaming video games for the decline in revenue this year. Couldn't possibly be Windows 11 and people may be running away from Microsoft. No, it's video games, but things are pretty bad in the video game space. The Xbox is failing miserably, and in fact, I think we're looking at the last generation of Xbox as a console produced by Microsoft, in my opinion. I think it's going to be a brand. I think it's going to wind up being a platform like Steam. So this is coming from Sandy Peterson on X. Microsoft, the company that laid off the entirety of Ensemble Studios. Ensemble never sold less than 3 million copies of a game. Ensemble was just getting started on the Titan project, which Microsoft itself estimated would bring in a minimum of 1.1 billion. And now Microsoft is whining about games. Yeah, they've laid a lot of people off. They spent a lot of money buying a lot of studios only to shut them down because they don't know what they're doing anymore. And I think Microsoft has decided they just want to print money. They think they want to be an AI company and they don't want to deal with, anything that requires effort, I guess, including Windows 11. The only effort in Windows 11 is how often they have to release patches that screw up your computer. So Tom Warren has it. Microsoft's more personal computing business, Windows, Xbox, Surface, and more, declined by 3% year over year. Microsoft blames gaming for the overall revenue decline of more personal computing. Microsoft's intelligent cloud business, which includes Azure and service products, contributed 32.9 billion in revenue this quarter, more than double the 14.3 billion from more personal computing. So this is how it works, guys. In corporate, people are like, well, this made a profit or that made a profit. I'm like, but did it make enough profit, right? Were the margins good enough for the investors, for the board members, for the CEOs? And if the answer is no, and in the case of gaming, the answer is no, because there's a lot of overhead, with hardware and all that, then they're going to put their resources into something that's more profitable. And this is why, Disney was killing it with Disney Infinity. Disney Infinity was doing very, very well. But they canceled it because they're like, we can make more profit if we just outsource our games to EA or something like that, And that's what I think is ultimately going to happen with comic books too. I think they're going to realize they can make more money just by outsourcing Marvel, or DC Comics. But that's a totally unrelated, but also related thing. This is coming from PC Games N, which is a weird name for a site. PC Games N. Microsoft blames gaming division for plummeting PC revenue with 32% drop in Xbox hardware, a 9% drop in gaming revenue overall. Microsoft's more personal computing department is far from a cash cow for the company. It's not going to get better. Their reputation right now is not good. So they said Microsoft's latest quarterly financial results are in, and they do not paint a pretty picture for how the company's gaming division is going. A massive 32% drop in Xbox revenue is joined by a 5% drop in Xbox content and service revenue. And overall, the company has seen a 9% drop in gaming revenue. This all adds up to its overarching more personal computing division, seeing a 3% drop in revenue despite positive news on the PC and Windows fronts. Microsoft isn't struggling elsewhere with overall revenue up 17%. Let's wait a year and see how that goes for them. And a hefty 26% increase in revenue for its cloud computing division. There's no word on just how much or how little the company's AI endeavors are bringing in. But for now, it's clear that Xbox isn't proving to be a major moneymaker. So news of the Xbox division's decline likely won't come as a surprise to many, as Microsoft has skipped a mid-gen update for its main consoles and even increased the price of them recently. Yeah, Xbox is doing it backwards. Usually how it works with the consoles, when the console gets a little long in the tooth, you drop the price. No, they're not doing that. They're actually increasing the price. 2 price hikes this year because their margins are crazy. At Microsoft, I guess they want, 27% margin or something like that, I heard, which is insane for gaming. Generally speaking, consoles are sold at cost or at a loss, and then you make the money up with software, right? But then Microsoft is looking at like, well, why do we have to make consoles at all? Let's just sell our software like Valve, sell it on, every platform that'll have us. And that's kind of what I think they're trying to do. But then they're going to realize that they're not good at it. They're not very good at it. And everybody's already using Steam, and I think they're going to run headfirst into the wood chipper. with gaming, and I think they'll probably get out of it eventually. News of the Xbox division's decline won't come as a surprise to many, as Microsoft has skipped the update. Indeed, sales of its consoles have been dropping for 2 years straight. Meanwhile, the much-hyped launch of the Xbox Ally X gaming handheld proved to be less about a revolution in portable gaming and just a ROG Ally X with a reskin, and a high price tag. That's it. That's probably what they're going to do. They're going to make Xbox branded consoles or boxes, or like a Steam machine or something like that that's going to have the Xbox brand. They'll probably have Xbox computers. And right now, with the RAM prices so high, why the hell would you want to make a console? It's like it's going to be really hard. So meanwhile, a 50% price hike to Game Pass service has anecdotally put off many buyers from continuing to use the service. As one commenter on The Verge put it, at $30 a month, it's like buying one full price game every other month, which is way more than I'd ever spend. They could have kept me at like $20 a month and I wouldn't have even thought about it. Some of this decline will be seen as a direct result of these more recent factors. It's also worth noting that Xbox revenue has fallen for 3 financial years in a row. The last 3 quarters have seen over 20% drops in revenue. It's over, man. Xbox is over. Despite the grim reading for Microsoft, there was some positivity for the PC division. Microsoft reports that its Windows OEM and devices division saw a 1% rise in revenue. Notably absent, here, this is interesting, notably absent in the latest financial figures is a breakdown of AI-related revenue. It does note a $37 billion capital expenditure, but they're not saying what the revenue is. So here's the thing. AI is going to wind up being a huge money-losing operation for most people. They're going to spend all this money chasing AI. They're going to find out that the public is not adopting it as fast as they wanted. And even their CEO, was it not Nadella? His name is Satya Nadella. He was even saying that they need to sell AI to the public because the public is not convinced it's going to be the solution for everything that they want. They want people to just use AI and cloud computing and not actually, I think the end goal is to not actually own your computer, that you'll just kind of, jack in or jack off from wherever you're at. And you're not actually going to have a physical computer. You'll have an interface like a cable box or something like that. And I think that's a huge mistake. I think people are going to reject that. I think we're going to wind up having to, have another, basically, I'd say an alternative internet or another throwback to the way that things used to be, where the computer existed. It was our computer. The internet is useful. It's not riddled with ads and spyware and whatever. And you own your games, you own your software. I think people will go back to that, but I think we're going to have a split. We're going to have the normies, the people who aren't terribly tech savvy, using whatever, right? And they're the cattle. They're going to use whatever. And then the more tech savvy people that do remember what it was like before will probably migrate to this other internet and go back to using, hardware, physical media, whatever. I don't know. That's just a theory I have, that we're going to see a fork in the road with computing and the internet, and we're going to have two very distinctly different experiences. And I will reiterate, if you want a different experience that feels like it used to be, consider Linux. Consider Linux Mint. It does feel like a throwback to Windows from like 10 years ago, 15 years ago. And it makes the internet feel usable again. It makes my old laptop feel usable again. So speaking of Windows 11, because we talk about Windows 11 here, Microsoft vows to make behind-the-scenes platform changes as it begins testing the next phase of Windows 11. Oh no, guys. Is it going to break it again? So they said they've confirmed they're working on important behind-the-scenes platform changes for Windows 11. They're expected to ship later this year. Today, the company began testing a new wave of builds in the Insider Dev channel. They actually have devs over at Microsoft. Are they vibe coding this shit? What are they doing? It bumps the OS build number ahead of the current production builds and will be where underlying platform work takes place. So starting today, the dev channel is jumping ahead to receive 26300 series builds. So does that mean they're going to check for bugs? Because that last update, that January update, broke a lot of people's PCs. Yeah, we'll be making behind-the-scenes platform changes in each build. Interesting. This isn't the first time Microsoft has vowed to make changes to the in-market platform release. Microsoft is planning to ship version 26H1 this spring on next-gen ARM devices. They're not yet available. What? As confusing as it sounds, it'll be interesting to see how Microsoft navigates its platform release schedule going forward. Just don't break it. Why is it so hard to just not break your operating system, right? If you want to keep making maximum revenue, people got to use your products. They got to trust your products. They don't trust you. They don't trust you, Microsoft. So I don't know what things are going to look like for them next time around in the computing division. But again, you know, cattle are going to cattle, and they're just going to, whatever the computer came with, that's what they're going to use. But I think Xbox is definitely a dead brand, and I think they'll get rid of it probably within the next year or two, right? I can't see them spending the money on another console. What do you guys think? We're going to wrap it up. Please subscribe. We'll talk later.